Hey, how you doing? Tony Wysinski, official aviator of the podcast. Here he is. Frankie Berger said he just got back from the gadget store.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You got a nice haul there. I see a couple things coming out of pocket.
Absolutely. Got a couple adapters. My VCR now works with my new flat screen TV.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I know you got it replaced, and I actually was wondering if I could borrow your solar-powered calculator.
You can. Don't worry. Maybe you could come over and we could hang out and we could fix some stuff while we drink some Miller Lite.
That'd be wonderful. I love Miller Lite. It's a perfect beer for the bar, tailgate, hanging out with you, testing out the gadgets, seeing which ones work, which ones don't. For me, there's no better time, especially now football season.
Absolutely not. Football season the best for Miller Lite. Really, any season's good for Miller Lite. So to celebrate the return of Miller Time moments over football, though, Miller Lite has created the Miller Timeless Collection, a collection of 6 stunning rings set in solid 10-karat gold and featuring a microchip inside each ring. The chip can detect when all 6 rings are together, enjoying Miller Time and football, and unlock free Miller Lite. There is only one 6-pack of the ring in existence. Will you be the one to win them for your group? No purchase necessary. Must be of legal drinking age in the U.S. For more information on how to enter and contest requirements, visit MillerTimelessCollection.com.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox
Chief
Dave.
Eddie.
And this is Redline Radio and All Gas No Break Chicago Bulls podcast, brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago, brought to you by Miller Lite. And off the top, I have to apologize to Dave Williams. I did not text him for his birthday this past weekend.
Fuck off.
Why do you do that?
Do what?
I was nice and I texted you happy birthday and you told me to fuck off.
Because you didn't actually mean that you wanted me to have a happy birthday. It was a pandering text.
How do you figure? How do you figure?
If I would have had a shitty day,
how do you figure
that would have had zero effect on your day?
You're right.
Sitting around fucking
no
gambling,
kidding.
you degenerate illiterate.
You're right. That doesn't mean that I didn't want you to have a happy birthday, though.
But you don't give a shit if I have a bad birthday. So don't tell me happy birthday, Ed.
Well, I wouldn't
So
want
fuck
you to
off.
have a bad birthday.
I know it. I'll say this. I appreciate you going out of your way to send a text message, even though the text message was bullshit.
Now that you should tell people who know Dave or people in this room, never text him on his birthday. He should just get cold.
But then you're an asshole for not texting me and
No,
acting
but
like
nobody
you care.
cares.
Well, but you at least got to act like you care. I'm just calling out when you do act like you care. Other than Chief's actually got me cakes and stuff in the past.
That's true. I did get him a cake.
Come on, really?
The first 30th, we showed up to a tailgate with that famous. I got a cake with that famous picture of Dave looking down that girl's shirt from the first.
Oh, that's good content.
Yeah, so we
I was going to
put-
say, if you
put-
were giving him, like, Dave doesn't deserve a cake.
30 is a big one. 30 is like your last birthday that
It was
matters.
my golden birthday, too,
Wow.
technically.
I mean,
not that anybody
yeah.
gives a shit about that
would
either.
you wear your prom dress?
Yeah.
No, I probably wore like a Northwestern
You did.
hoodie or something.
Yeah. And then I will say, for a guy who doesn't care about his birthday, you did guilt me into coming out for your birthday.
Well, I had to. What else was I going to do?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I mean, no, I didn't guilt you into coming. It's that
you said, Declan's Day. I'm like, well, my brother's in
Yeah,
town.
I
and
mean,
you're
it's not
like,
that I knew he would want to go, too.
well, and then you're like, well, it's my birthday. And I said, oh, okay. So I guess we did a Declan's Day.
We
It
had
was a great
fun.
time.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
How old are you, Dave?
33.
34.
That's not true. I'm 33.
He's getting older all the time.
Not as old as you, though.
Do you think you're aging well?
No. Actually, honestly, every time everybody tweets that picture of me, like, all cross-eyed at Mifflin, I look just as old then as I do now. So, yeah, I would say.
I'd say you look better now than then.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah.
I mean, they caught me at a bad time. Bad lighting, bad camera angle, and I was obliterated.
Good
drunk.
sausage, though?
Yeah, it was excellent. We were in Wisconsin. Of course, it was a good sausage.
Is that what that was?
You do
It was at
have
Mifflin.
You do have like a catalog of just absolutely absurd pictures of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to take a spin on Facebook a couple years ago, right when everybody started getting canceled and delete a bunch of shit, and there is a treasure trove that is locked up away from all eyes other than mine and a few select people. None of you are in that select group.
What are your top 5?
Pictures?
Yeah.
The gum picture, the Mifflin picture, the chick with the tits picture at the Blackhawks party, and then what are other two?
I
The
mean,
beard picture's got to be up there now.
The beard?
the one up to your eyeballs.
That's fake though. That's a fake one.
But
Yeah,
it's also
but since
even
they
the
did
real
that,
one.
It turned the real one into like
I can't really even tell the difference.
it was like it's like,
Yes, you can tell the
I mean, you
difference.
can, but it's like you have to admit that like the whole reason the fake one exists is because the real one is also patently absurd.
It's not absurd.
Yes, you know it is.
Yeah, that's not
You know
absurd.
it is. And then, you know what other one like just as it took off on the internet was the smoke out one. We got the cowboy stuff in Alcala.
Yeah,
everybody
that one was funny, yeah.
I think that's the top 5.
I also like the traditional scally cap one that gets used in the promos all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like the White Sox
That's when
free
we did
promo
like-
hat.
I think those pictures are from about 2 years ago this time.
Yeah, and it looked like a fucking prison photo, and it was supposed to be a Christmas card, correct?
Yeah.
All of us
promoted
just
it.
look like miserable, and none of us are smiling, and we're all pale and disgusting.
Well, it was in the back parking lot of that old shitty office. So
and it was taken in a like an alley. Yeah.
Did you buy yourself any presents for? Do you do anything for yourself?
Actually, you know what? I did. I
What'd
bought
you-
a new pair of 3s.
Eric?
Haven't gotten them yet. Actually, I gotta
what
get them like the next day or two.
What's a 3?
Jordans.
Nice.
fashion. Ever hear of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots.
Do you think the Al and Hangover picture will fold into that now?
People
that have it?
were giving me shit like that. I told you that when I showed it to you. I'm like, I really wish there was a better picture because it was a good costume. That was the only picture I could dig up, like drop of a hat like that.
the other factor of that makes that picture even more absurd now is that when Bo Pelini was in the office, Dave was telling him that Dave Williams, knows how to count cards in blackjack.
Oh, that's going to be great for stool scenes this Friday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explain it again.
And we have this interview coming, I think, on Thursday with Bo Pelini.
Thursday,
And it's
yeah.
great.
So like long form, the four of us sit down, and it's probably one of the coolest conversations. Nothing like topical or well, I guess the state of college football, but he was hanging out around the office for a couple hours last week. And part of the hangout when he came in, Dave, you were talking cards.
He
with him
said
or
that
something.
he's got a buddy that would just like he got banned from casinos. He said
I think
he
it was
wasn't
his
counting.
brother.
It might have been his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget exactly what it was, but
Eddie
Dave's
remembers vividly.
Dave's direct words were like, "Yeah, count cards. It's not like hard or anything."
it's Eddie.
and like I know what you meant, but the way it came out
well, I've
was-
never been one with words, but I'll explain it again.
was funny.
Every deck of cards. So the way they do it is, and I don't remember exactly how it works, but like a face or a 10 value card is worth 1 point. Anything 9 to I think 4 is worth 0, and then anything 3 and less is a -1. So every deck of cards equals 0. And if you have a high, if you are counting cards, you count every single card that is face up on the table. If you're at plus 20 or something, chances are that you're going to get a negative value card coming up. So 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it is. So no matter how many decks you have, because every deck is 0, it's just you got. So if you're using one deck, if you are counting 10, that's a high number. If you're using 5 decks or 6 decks, if you're at 50, that's the high number. It's very simple. It's just the speed you got to do it is like that's what makes it difficult.
What
But
about the burn card? What about the first cut?
It doesn't matter. Everything equals 0. That's the point. It's very simple in premise. It's just it takes practice, like for 6 months on end, and you got to have a really quick brain with it.
Are you good at blackjack?
I just play normal, and if I'm super fucked up, I always just ask the dealer and piss off the table. Like, hey, should I hit? Should I stay? I just play straight by the book.
That's surprising.
I feel like you promised a clear explanation
That-
and
I didn't
you didn't
follow.
deliver it all. I was going to ask you, grade yourself there.
You guys are the ones with the problem, not me. I explained it very easily.
Ed, did you follow that?
No, but that's not something I would follow easily either. Just to be, honest with myself.
Like if Kevin Spacey came in here right
yeah,
now.
like you could give me the greatest.
If you
like,
Google how to, or go to YouTube, just go how to count cards, you can go on, and within 1 5-minute video, you'll be like, okay. The premise is extremely easy because all you're doing is adding the numbers 1, 0, and -1 together.
Yeah,
That's it.
2 to 5 is a negative value, and face cards are positive value, right? And 6 through, or is 6 part of this? 2, 3, 4, 5.
They might be the 0 numbers.
What about an ace, Dave?
Okay, 2 through 6 is +1, 7 through 9 is 0, 10 through ace is -1. So I got it backwards. But in the end, it all It all equals 0. Every single deck equals 0.
But it's not every single hand.
It doesn't. But that's the point. So if you have
you're not counting cards. You're just playing odds.
Yeah, it's not foolproof at all. You can't. If
But
you
this
got
is
to
like
if
the
you have
general
one
premise
card,
of counting
if
cards.
if you got to one card left, yeah, you could know what number it is if you have the correct count in your head. Because if it's a -1, then you know a 2 through 6 is coming up.
Well, I mean, you can. It's more
So there's
likely.
52 cards
it's
in a
more
deck.
likely than not that
There's 52
Yeah.
cards in a deck. If you have 51 cards and you know that the next card and your count since it's 0, it'll be either -1 or it could be all
Sure.
three. So if your count's is 0, it'll be a 7 through 9 coming up. Everyone understand?
I mean, I think the next logical step is, for you to go on let Penn National, let Dave come in and try and count cards on camera. Like if you're this good,
I'm not. I didn't say I'm good at it. You have to practice at.
It's not
Because the cards are coming out so fast, you lose track insanely easily. That's why all these MIT kids could do it so easily, because they see a number and they just know.
Did you apply to MIT?
I did. I got in.
Did they respond to you?
Football scholarship.
All scholarship.
What
Academic.
was the best Halloween costume you guys saw this weekend?
I didn't really see many good ones, to be honest. Uproar. We went to Uproar. Well, Chief didn't go to Uproar.
Oh, I saw something I liked.
What?
I was handing out candy on Sunday, and like a group of the awkward-aged teenage girls down the block came by, and they were decades. So somebody was the 50s, 60s, 70s,
that's
80s,
nice.
and 90s. And the girl at the 90s had she looked like somebody,
Like a Saved by the Bell character.
Yeah, it was
or
like a
something.
really good,
Okay.
grungy, like Kurt
I like
Cobain
that.
look and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
nice.
that's the first time I've seen somebody do we're decades, which
Yeah.
I thought was a
Pretty
good group.
I like that. Chief,
Yeah, I like
anything?
that.
No burrata salad pictures tweeted at your way?
I didn't see that. But I don't.
Was anybody you for Halloween, Ed?
No, not that I saw.
Anybody White Sox Dave?
No,
any one
not that I saw.
Any one of the 5 pictures we just detailed before?
Wrigley was crazy though. I didn't.
Were you driving through,
I was.
or did
I was.
you?
I was
you
passing
took the
by.
bus
yes,
or what?
I was on the CTA, Clark CTA, and I just had a. It was a show. It was crazy.
What bars?
I was sick all weekend.
Yeah,
so
are you okay?
yeah, just a little congested. You know.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of
That's
year.
fine.
I mean,
Yeah, we're not.
I went through that. I get. This is the time where I feel like you just open your window, so you just breathe in that fresh air. It's
Yeah.
great.
this weather fucking sucks. I walked the dog at 6 a.m. today, and I was miserable.
Oh, it's chilly.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It was cold this morning. What was it, in the 30s?
36.
You guys are so on varying parts on this too. That's always makes me laugh.
Dave wants to walk around in constant state of sweat.
I'd rather that than this.
No, I wouldn't.
crazy.
But yeah,
What did you see? What bars in Wrigley?
dude, it's
Curious
crazy.
which ones were.
That's like the most crowded I've seen Wrigley since like the World Series.
really?
It
Really?
was insane,
Huh.
dude. It was nuts.
People are itching to go out.
Saw you went to Richards. Did you blow any heats?
I did.
You
I had-
went to Richards?
I did first time actually
Fuck
too.
yes.
You've never been to
You've
Richards?
never
Let's
been?
not do
Nope.
this. I hate when people do this. Yeah, Ed hasn't been, but he knows it.
Yeah. Like I've been to La
Oh,
Scala,
wow.
but I've just never gone.
Next door.
Yes. Like we've gone all together before too, and we went across the street instead of next door. What a place!
It's the best.
And obviously, I've known. I picked up a buddy from high school in there. I was like, "Wait, what's this? Why would you go this far?" He's like, "Oh, you could smoke in here." I was like, "Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
all right."
No,
That's
you
a
can't
place you
smoke.
have to
There's,
be like-
there's no smoking.
There's no smoking.
There's
in there
no
now?
smoking.
That was back in the day.
Well, you can smoke in there, but there's no smoking there.
Yeah.
You don't get the joke.
That's a mental commitment, like walking in that bar, because you're going to have Richards with you for a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're waking up that
That's why
next
I like
morning
going
hacking
there, 'cause
brown
it-
shit
you
out
have-
of your throat. Ugh.
When you're like, yeah, you're going to Richards 2 hours before you get to Richards.
Yeah.
Somebody plants a seed. You're like, hey, it'd be great if we got to Richards tonight. And then you're like, yeah, I want to go to Richards. It's not an accident.
It's not very big.
No.
No.
Dual
Not at
entrance.
Dual entrance.
Do you
yes.
like that?
Not really. It makes me a little uneasy to be honest with you.
Like, what if you have to get out of here quickly?
Well, that's good in that case.
Well, they also have that like little area in the front too. I feel like there's 2 doors to get to the back where
It's like a
everyone's.
phone. And
Yeah.
like-
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it was nice. Marlboro Red though, those things are insane.
That's
Marlboro
like
Reds?
smoking
I
a
can't believe
fucking
people smoke those.
chicken bone.
My old man
Yeah.
loves a Marlboro Red.
Really?
Yeah.
That shit's fucking. Real deal.
So when you bum one off him at home, it's like, oh God.
Does
he know I bum lights?
Does he typically do Reds?
Only
Reds?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's not like smoking a pack a day, or he's not like a heavy smoker or anything. But
that's probably what he grew up on.
yeah, there's that shit's in the garage, or maybe it's not. I don't know if my mom's listening to this, but that's true. Cigarettes aside, speaking of the Reds, Marlboro Reds.
There we go. I like it. Go ahead.
I'm fucking seeing red. And I think the whole city is. And I think that game last night against the Celtics, that should be like all right, like we got a fucking squad here. Like we've been talking them up. We saw it. They were down by 19 with a little bit more than 2 minutes left in the third quarter. They gave up 11 points in the fourth quarter. Bulls come back, win the game by double digits. The game wasn't even fucking close last 2 minutes.
It's interesting, right? Because you're the microcosm of two different things. What happened Thursday is what I talked about with Levine versus DeRozan. But then you just see how valuable DeRozan really is when he puts up back-to-back 30-point games, and it's like weird to have a team where it's not like, all right, if Zach's off, we're fucked. If he's on, we're good.
We got a chance.
We got a chance. Like you got to like to have another guy, and I know this is like pretty, no shit Sherlock, but it's a good problem to have. So like I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that Knicks thing, that Knicks like scenario every day for this situation.
So credit to Ed, because last week we left off Thursday about the Bulls about like who gets the last shot, because DeRozan being good in isolation, he's one of the better clutch players by those statistics mid-range, and all that stuff. And then obviously it's Levine's team. And so, I mean, we had literally talked about that. And that night against the Knicks, it came down and DeRozan took and it wasn't close. Now, if he hits a shot, it's a completely different reaction. It's only one shot. But, I mean, it's pretty good fucking timing. They come back. They handle the Jazz. Jazz were a little limited.
Yeah.
And now we see this game with the Celtics. I am very interested in how they match up with the Sixers. They got back-to-back with the Sixers, and Embiid took the night off so he could be rested.
That's a compliment in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it might change my mind a little bit, though.
Why?
What?
Like, I know I said that, like, especially that opener against the Pistons. Like, I thought he was doing too much, and I certainly wish Zach took the last shot. But if he makes it, then it's not, I don't think that. But I think you're going to need him to do it if it's necessary.
At some point, yeah.
Like, I think, Wright, unless if you have Michael fucking Jordan or LeBron James. Like,
I guess they should feel it out based on, like, who's feeling hot. Like, like yesterday, DeRozan was on fucking fire. But then towards the end, down the stretch, like, Levine really took over.
Yeah.
Like, he just was relentless getting to the rack.
Yeah, so I was watching the Hawks, so I didn't see that. So the fourth quarter when they need to come back, it was Levine?
It wasn't really like they both shared it. They both shared it. But once there started to get blood in the water and the Bulls had a lead, I felt like Levine was basically just kind of taking over.
DeRozan hit some big shots, though.
Okay.
He hit some big shots.
No question.
I mean, the fourth quarter, the Bulls outscored them 39-11.
Yeah.
So, Jesus
It
Christ.
was one of the best quarters I've seen the Bulls play.
It was
possibly ever.
Io hit a big three.
Fucking domination. Io looked good yesterday. That's
had
the best by
a
far.
lot of more minutes than I'm just looking at box scores, but he played a lot in that game.
Back-to-back 20-minute games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has to.
I think
no
that
Kobe,
he's
yeah.
eventually going to
Kobe,
settle in as a really, really good sixth man that just plays awesome fucking defense.
He might be able to be a little better, too.
You think so?
He's fucking long, man. And his teammates like him a lot. They talk positive. Like, the buzz around him seems like he's the type of guy who's just, like, consummate pro. And I mean, that's really what...
He's going to have to work, though.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
Like, he's going to have to really... Like, he looks...
He might
a
be
little
one of
frail
those
out there,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying. He's
noticeable.
long. That's
Yeah.
a positive way of saying, like, he's fucking lean, athletic, he can fly, but...
He also might have been one of those guys that mistimed when he went into the draft. Like, if he had left after his sophomore year and it's all potential and then there's no COVID and, like, weren't they talking about him as a lottery pick at that point?
Yeah, I think
And then, it was a weird year, and he had a good year, but it was a weird year. And then all of a sudden you're in the second round. So maybe he is a first-round talent there, lucky enough to get in the second round.
And it just feels like AK's just an assassin sniping people in the second round.
Yeah.
And this is it just seems like such a good environment for a perimeter player to develop. With Billy, Lonzo, you have all these players, not just Billy and his staff, but like the players you get out of the court. It's like, yo, you're when you huddle up, it's like you're looking at Alex fucking Caruso and you're looking at Lonzo Ball talking about, here's how we're going to move the ball around the next possession or whatever the fuck it is. Like being able to play off Vooch, who's just a quality, solid big man. Like
Almost had a triple-double last
this
night.
ain't no, like, we're not asking anybody on the bench or these second stringers to, like, carry a lot of shit. It's like, yo, just fucking fit in and do what you're good at. Now, that said, the bench has been incredible the last couple of games. The plus-minus on these guys is unbelievable.
Tony Bradley's been very impressive.
Fuck.
Like, because that's where...
Where did he come from? Did you know him at UNC at all?
Dude, he was just a backup. He was off the bench. He plays a one and done, like one of the true one and dones at Roy Williams. I think he won a title too. That won a title and just was in and out with Roy Williams. But dude, it's so crazy too. Like he was drafted in 2017. He played with Utah for 3 years, and then he was with the Sixers in Oklahoma City last year. But like, dude, if you played 1 year in college, like, how much time do you really have to develop?
Not hardly anything.
And you're not
down
getting
to campus
for sure.
Like the guy's never really, had an opportunity from it. I mean, he played 11. All right, so he had 12 minutes with the Jazz. With Philly, got 14 a game. Oklahoma City got like 18 a game.
Yeah, but look at his per 36 numbers are fucking per 36. He's like a fucking 16 rebound, 16 point guy.
Dude, he's crucial. You need a rim protector, and he is really filled. Like he's stepped up big time.
Good, and it's a good contrast from Vooch, where Vooch is pick pop deep. Bradley comes in. He was heavy energy. Setting very strong fucking picks, mixing it up on the boards and stuff.
It's got a little Taj to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big problem obviously is Pat Williams out for the year.
And it's gonna show.
Yeah,
because last night it would have been nice to see if you could at least switch Pat Williams into Tatum or.
Scares me a lot. I feel like your second year is a big year for you,
Yeah.
and especially with this team, like you're trying to get everything together. It's very scary to me.
Can we just say thank God it's not a back, knee,
Yes,
ankle,
definitely
any type of lower extremity that affects explosiveness? Like he's still a fucking world class athlete. They drafted him for that. They're gonna develop that. That doesn't go away with a wrist, carpal tunnel or whatever the fuck he's got.
Yeah, hopefully he could recover fast and come back for the playoffs maybe. But I don't know. I was impressed with the Knicks too. I thought the Knicks are
They're a
damn
good team.
Yep.
The Knicks are pretty good.
Did you see Tibbs when they cut to him for the fucking no? They had a tribute for Joe, and so they cut to Joe. Joe stands up. He waves. He's sitting in the box. And for the Knicks kid, but like they show Derrick Rose waves up to Joe Kim Noah. Then the camera cuts over to Taj. Taj is waving to him. It cuts back to Noah. Noah's waving at everybody. And then it cuts to Tibbs, and Tibbs is just fucking staring into the side, like just staring at the court. That was a good moment.
No surprise.
Yep.
But you thought the Knicks were good.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the Knicks. Who knows? Obviously, a 7-game series, I think it'd be a battle. But right now, I think the Knicks are a little better.
Way deeper.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's without question. They're way deeper.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like we talked earlier on about like the 3 seed is the goal. Now that we've actually played some good teams, who knows? I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think we'll certainly be in a position to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean the Bulls are a very good team.
Yeah,
it's.
You're sick of Bing Bong?
I fucking hate Bing Bong.
Well, okay, you tweeted that to me, and then we got fucking hammered by Knicks fans.
So I guess
Tom's a Nets fan, by the way.
Fuck out of here.
There's some group. What's their name?
Side talk.
Side Talk. They're doing these videos outside of the Garden, and if you've seen them, they're really well done. They have somehow captured like the craziest Knicks fan, and like they do other shit like the subway and stuff.
It's my favorite shit.
They've somehow captured like the craziest people, and they do a good job with them. And I don't know when the game was, but they got a bunch of Knicks fans after, and one of the guys in the videos just said "Bing Bong," and I think it's referring to like the subway, like when you get on.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like multiple reasons. It's like the video series itself starts out. Every single video starts out with the sound effect of the MTA subway, "Bing Bong," like the sound effect that you hear when you get on a train. So in videos, in Side Talk videos, it has sometimes people just yelling it out because of the video series, but also it works for all of New York. So it just kind of like everything kind of just comes together with that phrase. And it's awesome.
This guy, he just like says "Bing Bong" in the video, and he's somehow become the Bing Bong guy.
Yeah.
That guy was tweeting at me all day.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate Bing Bong.
Why is that, Ed?
I love when Ed hates things.
I just Just because, no reason in particular, just because everyone's tweeting it at me.
It's also, but like, it's also nice to like have a reason to hate the Knicks again.
Oh yeah, I like it
that's-
too.
yeah.
Like it's not like I don't have like hatred on. I don't want them, like murdered like Dave wants Yankees fans. Like I'm
I
happy
don't
that.
necessarily want them murdered. Maybe a few of them, but not all of them.
I don't know.
Maybe vast majority.
Yes.
But
Whereas, so like I like
there are exceptions.
I like talking shit to Knicks fans, and I like Knicks fans talking shit to me.
Right.
So it's good. You're right. It's good. But the bing bong, it's like, come on.
I don't know. I thought the video was funny.
Oh, the video is funny.
Yeah.
The best is the fucking the guy who holds the L over his head.
Yeah.
The big guy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking bing bong.
It's nice to be in the mix, like no one's been able to like really talk shit about the Bulls or two Bulls fans or have it back and forth. It's just nice. This is the first time really in the social media era, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're fucking
We're
back,
hashtag
boys.
back.
Just look ahead. I said I think they get this. They get the Sixers to close this week.
They got a
get the Sixers out.
Gutter of a schedule coming up. It's going to be a fun month in November.
Yeah.
A really fun month. Sixers twice in a row, Wednesday and Saturday. Brooklyn, obviously that's without Irving. Dallas, Golden State. It's all in the next like 10-ish days. There's a lot of good teams the Bulls are playing, both here and away.
We'll know exactly what the Bulls are by Thanksgiving.
I think so, yeah. I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, speaking of fair statements, Chief made one earlier at the top of the show. He said he's wearing his favorite pants of all time. Is this a fair statement?
I can confirm because I wore them on Halloween and it felt like I was walking around naked.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like the name of the clothing brand is Bare Bottom Clothing. So
Yep.
it felt like I was walking around bare ass around Old Town this Saturday.
They are great. I'm wearing them right now. I got these. I'll stand up.
Bare bottom?
I'm wearing bare bottom pants right now. They look like khakis. They're like a stretch jogger, I guess you would call them. But they're awesome. Like Dave said, they are awesome. They're super comfortable. I'll wear them with like nice shoes, and then I will not, when I go home tonight to lounge on the couch, I'm not changing out of my pants. Like they're that comfortable. They look great, and it is comfy season. But if you have to run errands, you're also going to be looking pretty sharp because bare bottom pants are fucking great. And I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten a lot of compliments on these when I've been out wearing them in public.
We were out when Marty Mush was in town. I don't know how he got on the subject, but he's like bare bottoms, and this was like unironically not shtick or anything. No cameras rolling. He's like bare bottoms my favorite clothes. Like I wear the hoodies nonstop, and I've had the hoodies because we were doing stuff with bare bottom last year. I was wearing that hoodie. You told me I was wearing it like every day. I was, and then I got more when they hopped on with us for this season. And I love these clothes. I really love these clothes.
Yeah, and for a limited time, Bare Bottom is giving you, the listener, an incredibly soft tech tee or natural dye tee for free when you spend $150 or more. So you're getting good value, and you can also get 10% off your first order by going to barebottomclothing.com/redline. That's bear like the animal, barebottomclothing.com/redline. So I got a black hoodie. I feel like I've worn it on both both rundowns. I've got these. I got the nice T-shirt. Like it all is super comfortable, and it looks good. Like I'm not joking. I never get compliments on my fashion. Dave always makes fun of me for my fashion. When I'm out in public wearing these, I've gotten multiple compliments from people that I would value their opinion. So it's great.
You look good right now.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
You look really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, Bare Bottom Clothing, that's the place for it. And you get 10% off your first order, like I said, when you use that code REDLINE. And then a free T-shirt if you spend over $150. And you can get a lot for $150. So you're going to get 3 or 4 very high quality items.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love this stuff. Bare bottom. Okay. Let's get into it. From bare bottom to the Chicago Bears.
Very nice transitions.
Two
Thanks,
of them.
guys.
Back.
You.
Touch them all, Carl. The Bears stink.
Well,
We got a deadline coming up. When's the deadline? A couple hours?
Yeah.
I had a weird situation watching the game this Sunday.
what?
So I usually don't get caught up in it. I've been the whole time like, all right, it's good for them to lose because the sooner Nagy and Pace get fired, the better. And Chiefs like, oh, if we can get the 7th seed, if we could do this, he's Mr. Optimistic. Like that's been the state of the show.
I'd rather win than lose.
Yeah. So I've been like, all right, to get this started, to get it right, to have a chance. I got sucked in to actually like really caring, and I was like really upset when they lost for some reason. And in the end, it's like, why should I care? Fields played well. Like, that's all that should matter, right?
Yeah, your tweet, and I think everybody in that's a Bears fan watching that game, when they missed the extra point that would have tied it, you just tweet out pain. And I think I laughed and I'm like, Bears lost. Like there was plenty of time still to go in that game. It was a tight game, but you knew when they had the great crazy Fields touchdown run, we were like, holy fuck, this guy's incredible. And then it's followed up by a Cairo Santos miss on an extra point. And you're just like, fuck.
Which is so typical.
Yeah.
Like, good things happen, and then it's like, well, can't have that much.
Yeah.
Can't have that many good things happen here. But I was like, wait, why do I? After I was like, we got what we needed. Like, Fields played awesome. Probably his best game of the year. Actually, for a fact, his best game of the year.
PFF said he was rookie of the week as well.
That's great.
Yep.
And I realized it all came down to that fucking asshole not being on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, he's not here. Like, I don't have to worry about getting mad when they cut to him and I see his fucking idiot ass. And then, like, if they win in spite of him, it'll be another good luck to get fired. So I had a little bit more juice in the game for this Sunday.
Did you like Tabor?
He's got a football face. Like, it's just fucking weathered. Like I was having like visions of them in the playoffs someday. Like Tom Coughlin. Like, where like that guy, his face turns like bright red in the cold. Like, he just looks miserable.
That Shaq Del Rio's cousin.
I didn't know that. Did they say that during the? You're
I
lying.
didn't know that either.
You're lying.
I'm lying.
You're lying.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You sick fuck.
I'm sorry.
You're such a sick fuck.
I'm sorry. But you see it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's funny if, like, Eddie's sitting here hating Matt Nagy, and it'd be funny if, like, you got sucked into to not just, like, okay, now I want the Bears to win. Like, it'd be hilarious if you woke up on Monday and you're like, hey, kind of like this Tabor guy, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, a classic, I feel like, Bears meatball fan thing. Like, it goes back. I remember when Craig Krenzel played in 2004, even though they just drafted Rex Grossman, and was like, hey, maybe this guy's the next Tom Brady. Like, it's in our DNA to just automatically assume the next thing's going to be instantly better.
There was something too, like, and I remember saying it live. Like, I like this guy's face. Like, he's got a good face. But I think it honestly, like, kind of to your point, Ed, it was just somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, and what you're saying, like, well, the next guy is always going to be better. When it was just like in real time, I'm like, that's a nice face. Like, I fucking like this guy.
Yeah.
Can I throw this out there for the McCaskies too?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have a coach mid-season. You switched out. And it was okay. Like, the franchise didn't crumble. Like, if Chris Tabor wanted to coach the rest of the game, we'd be okay, McCaskey.
Rest of the year.
Yeah, rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Don't be so afraid to fire someone mid-season.
I agree.
Because it should happen. Because this guy sucks.
Would you be back in on the McCaskies if they did this? Not like back in or back up, but I mean, like,
It would
it lift you?
I think it would mean something to me to see them do something
Be
against the grain.
proactive instead of reactive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would, actually.
Yeah.
It would show that they're like, maybe mindset's changing, maybe things are going to change, but
I love them to do that and then be like, and we're hiring a search firm to conduct the search. We're going to have viable candidates. We're going to go over this. Like,
done that though.
But like,
Yeah.
it's always
Horsey
late.
bullshit.
It's always late. You know, like, if they're going to be like, we're going to start this process of looking for the next GM, the next president today, and we're not doing it ourselves. Like, then I would be like, okay, like, these are positive steps in the right direction. But
Like, could you imagine if George just brought his dick to the table right now and it was like, hey, we're moving to fucking Arlington. Ted Phillips is in charge of figuring that all out. What's going to happen there? What's going to be built there? And then we're hiring a football guy. And we're firing Matt Nagy. This shit, I would buy a McCaskey jersey. I would get a customized one. I really would. Could you imagine?
I mean, that would be...
That's all he has to do. That's all he has to do.
I don't know. I don't even know if he can deliver that message, though. Because he'd get up there with his mustache and, like, you know, it's just like, I would just be like, I don't trust it. You know, so I wouldn't go so far as to buy a McCaskey
like, no mustache,
jersey.
like dick out. Like,
it's different?
Yeah.
It would be different.
Well,
Like, you want him
it would be different because it happened
grabbing
mid-season.
his
That's my
dick
point.
and flopping it
So it
on
would
the
be
table,
different.
right?
Yeah.
I love it.
I saw George McCaskey walking into a Bears game like 3 years ago. Did I tell you guys about this?
I don't think so.
He was
Not
in
that
like
I
a
remember.
bad zip up. He was in a bad.
I think
Bears
I was with
jacket.
you.
Yeah,
Was I with you?
It was like George McCaskey. It was like I was like McCaskey.
That was the game
Remember?
that we were
and
all
he
at.
turned around. He's like,
I'm pretty
"Yay!"
sure.
It wasn't the Chiefs game.
The preseason game.
No, it was a
Are
regular.
you sure?
It was a regular season game. But you and I might have gone to the tailgate together. But nevertheless, he was, and this is if you don't know the locale, that's okay. Just Soldier Field is connected to the Walzern deck, which is connected to another tailgate lot, and there's just a lot of foot traffic in this one particular area where you're going underneath an overpass. And if you're going to the Bears game, everybody has to go through this overpass.
And it
I
is
should
the
say
worst
an
place on earth.
overwhelming majority of people have to go through this underpass. And there's George McCaskey standing out in front of the fucking underpass waiting for somebody, and people are just walking past him left and right and nobody's saying anything. And I'm thinking, that guy, that's fucking nice. This guy's
be
owning
nice.
the team. Nobody's saying shit. And then here's me and White say, "Hey, McCaskey." He waved. He was friendly, but he definitely, I was like, oh, God, that's our owner. It was not a good feeling to have when you see him. So
Yeah.
anyways.
I don't know what's up with the defense. That was fucking concerning.
It's old, man.
But
it's
that was,
old.
but it was still,
Also
still
missing
been
your
good
best
for a lot of
player.
stretches this year. And the Niners are not a good offense by any means. Like, they fucking despise Garoppolo at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they
they
just
keep
Good
running
against
him.
the Bears.
they can't be done with him soon enough. And he just fucking shoved it up our ass.
Yeah.
He looked really fucking
Dual
good.
threat. Like,
Yeah.
it was good running the ball, too. I think, like, the defense didn't look good, but by any stretch. But you didn't have your best player.
Yeah.
Like, that has to, you have to count that for something. But,
Definitely. But
but
I
that's
mean,
still-
yeah, the deep, very slow. Jalen Johnson had a nice play on the goal line that I enjoyed.
yeah.
yeah. But still, the first half, everything was fine. Like, did Shanahan go and make that many adjustments? I don't think so. I got fucking caught in a screen that went 80 yards. That
Is
Yeah.
Debo
shouldn't
that
have
good?
happened.
I loved him
He's
in
had a
South
good
Carolina.
year. He's had a
But
good year.
He's like remember Percy Harvin? He reminds me of him a little bit, but I think
Percy Harvin had a good NFL career.
It was so
he had like
frustrating.
2 good years,
Yeah,
and then he had
I
like all those migraines and other issues. But
I kind of like Justin Fields losing these games because Justin Fields played well enough to win, and he still lost. And Justin Fields made a huge play to put the Bears in a position to tie the game, and they didn't fucking tie the game. And I like him going through these struggles because it's like, hey, dude, you want to win. If you want to make sure you win in the NFL, you got to actually be better. And he's going through these things now where it's like, okay, well, where it's like, I hope he's not the athlete who's like, I did enough to win. I hope he's fucking mad that, hey, you leave a drive on the table that could have won a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Convert a couple more
Well
first
said.
downs. So these are tough losses. That said, the loss against the Niners, he played better and was more.
The
you
pass
know.
to Jesse James was unbelievable, too.
oh yeah,
Like, it's crazy
he
that
had
that's
this much
getting
of a window.
overshadowed.
This much of a window.
and his like
on the run.
the run, the body
To the left,
angle. It's
yeah.
like, how the fuck did you get that over there and like on the fucking money?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, like the crazy touchdowns getting most of the attention, but that play was unbelievable.
that like he just had games where he was like, I'm better than everybody out here.
Yeah.
Or like plays like that throughout the game. So that was nice to see too. So maybe like his confidence is getting a little bit better. Well, he'll step up and sling it a little bit.
They're
But
starting to learn more. You
yeah,
know?
right.
You get like you would hopefully everybody gets better doing everything with experience.
Yes. Yeah.
You would hope.
Yep.
That hasn't been the case all the time, but hopefully that's the case here. And I mean, he's got a big fucking test on Monday, so
Yeah.
we'll really see.
We'll see. And look at it was a really good bounce back performance because after that, not that anything that happened in Tampa Bay was necessarily all his fault, but a lot of turnovers, and you would start to see like the meatball Twitter takes being like, this guy isn't it. So I think he showed that he has the tools to be the guy against San Francisco, and then hopefully just like you said, Ed, just get a little bit better, more
Yeah.
experience, a little bit better, and then I still think he's the real deal. And foreshadowing that Bo Pelini interview, Bo Pelini, for what it's worth, believes in him too.
That's good.
And he's a football guy. I did want I stumbled upon this. Do you guys know who Ben Baldwin is? Computer cowboy,
No.
big
No.
analytics guy for the Athletic. Does all the shit that I can't even read a lot of it, but this one stuck out to me the most by far. So the question that he proposed on Twitter was, which teams are the best at avoiding shooting themselves in the foot on 2nd and long, aka calling a run play? The Bears and the Jaguars are tied for dead last. How can you put yourself in a position to succeed if you're constantly, like Pelini said, in 2nd and 3rd and long, and you're just fucking running the ball? How are you supposed to move? Like,
it's bad. You can't do that. You're not going to move the ball against NFL defenses on the ground.
When it's always third and long.
When it's always third and long.
Yeah.
I'm kind of falling in love with Khalil Herbert too.
He's
You
a
know,
good back.
Good back.
So is
he's a good back.
What's going on with him?
He's fucking good.
Yeah.
He's
This goes back to like, not and like it's on trade deadline day. You know, we're recording this before the deadline, but he's been so good that I think as much as everybody loves Monty, I think people are like, let's see what you can get from Monty. Let's see if the Titans will fork something over now that Derrick Henry's out. So that's how good. I mean, that's indicative of how good he's been, because I think the whole city was loving Monty, and now everyone's like, well, we don't really need that guy. So
it's nothing against Monty. It's more so against his position and against the guy that's you had more control over, and that shit matters. So
What's it saying? Hungry dogs hunt.
hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah, just like, I love a 6-rounder. I love a guy who's overlooked. You know, you come in with you always kind of need a 2-back dynamic, though. You always need, like, the fucking guy who shows up day one, and it's like, yo, this is our back. And then you do need the guy like Khalil Herbert, young draft, coming there trying to grind it out, do everything perfectly. It was so scary. I know you love him, Chief, but when they had to bring in Ryan Nall, it was like, I know he jumped on a fumble.
Yeah, no,
but it was just like, yo, this is not NFL depth.
I like Ryan Nall as like he's one of those guys like this is a preseason, but he's a preseason back.
Yeah.
And like he can be a core special teams guy. Like he probably belongs in the NFL at least for now. But yeah, he's not a weapon.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not going to do it because I don't anticipate. I mean, what it's almost 1 p.m. Central right now and nothing's happened. I would trade him in a heartbeat.
Same.
Who?
Monty.
Yeah, and I love Monty.
Yeah, it's nothing against him. It's
right.
his position. It's where the team's at.
Yep.
He's contracted for next year. There's an unrestricted free agent. So
Yep.
what do you
waiting for?
What do you do?
What did they
Once
get
he
for
do
Jordan
back 3-4
Howard?
weeks now?
They
got-
a 6th rounder or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It was not much. But
But they waited too long to get rid of him too. Like they just
Anybody else you guys would trade?
I'd trade
think-
Robinson.
Yep.
I'd trade Andy Dalton.
Yep.
I'd trade close to whoever.
I think I'd trade anybody who like. I mean,
Has a pulse.
I've been on the record saying like I would trade Khalil Mack, I would trade Robert Quinn, I would like I've said trade Khalil Mack for a while now, because you're just never going to get where you need to go, so you might as well see if you can move some of that money and get some draft equity and see what you can do. But it's just like they have like Mooney. I'd keep Mooney, I'd keep Fields obviously. Maybe Kmet. I feel like Dave, you're starting to get real sour on him.
I don't want to say sour.
A lot of people are.
He
It's
does a
not
lot
just
of
Dave.
boneheaded shit.
He
I mean,
does.
the
I shouldn't say a
tools are
lot of
there.
people are, but people are.
He
I
had
don't
a
want to
bad
say
drop this
frustrated, but
week.
people are ready.
for him to have like a
Yeah,
breakout game.
you know what I mean. And it's not, that's not
Yeah.
totally his fault. But his limited opportunity, and you could say the same thing about. Well, no, you can't say the same thing about. But it's just his limited opportunity. He has had a couple.
Yeah,
of
and like the
errors.
drop in the end zone, like
Yeah. He's 2nd rounder, man. You know what I mean? Like you get drafted high, people have expectations.
Yeah, I think he'll be a fine player, but yeah,
I think so too. And
anybody,
tight ends take longer to develop.
They
so
do.
It's like,
and but it's like anybody. But I agree. Like it seems like I think he's been trending the right direction the last couple of weeks in terms of getting involved. But you're right. Like you want that guy to be a weapon. That's what you draft him for, and he hasn't been yet. But yeah, I mean, outside of Mooney, Roquan, I mean,
yeah, it's also one of those things where when things are going wrong, people look down the bench and it's like, oh, what the hell's this guy doing?
Right.
And I mean, Cole Kmet, if you made a list of 100 problems, he's
near
not
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
near
yeah.
the
Yeah.
end. So to be clear about that, but
yeah,
like,
he's
yeah.
the highest pick, 2nd rounder. You expect a little more.
yeah. So he hopefully has a big second half and
Under new leadership. He is a guy. Like I think it's fair to say that we've seen enough of Cole Kmet to see that he does got a lot of good tools. And I did notice he was a lot more physical at the line of scrimmage this past game. I don't know if that's been the case all year because I haven't watch him under that much of a microscope, but he could be really good. It's just like I don't think he will under this regime.
yeah. I think that's part of it. A big
Yeah,
part of
I
it.
think a lot of it has to do with that. But
this was-
I mean,
I
when
mean-
he does get the opportunity, he has fucked up here and there. Like he had a bad drop this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't had any like explosion pit plays really, but I don't know.
I mean, there aren't many,
I think
there aren't very many explosion plays from tight ends outside of Kelsey.
And like I said, I mean, Robinson's had a bad year.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that either.
I don't know, man.
Is that just like a getting on the same page with Fields thing? Because it feels like he got way more targets previously too.
Yeah, like even in a previously bad offense, like he seemed to be better with Mitch, and I don't know. I don't know how you can explain it.
He's probably pissed. I would imagine a guy like him bought into Mitch a little bit, had some relationship with him. It certainly seemed, like they had good enough chemistry, and wouldn't you be frustrated if you're Allen Robinson and it's like, hey, we're going to name Andy Dalton the starter, but then there's controversy like Justin Fields should be the guy. In the meantime, you're standing there like, hey, I'm good enough to be like an all-pro here. Like, who the fuck do I hang out with? Who do I talk to? I'd be checked out. My point is, if I was Allen Robinson,
so you think he's checked
franchise tag?
Yeah.
I'm fucking checked out.
Yeah. But he shouldn't be. I mean, he's trying to get a fucking deal next year.
Yeah.
Because
he's got a good enough excuse to get a big deal. He's been good enough. He doesn't need to be awesome this year. You just look at what's going on with the Bears and just like, hey, it's fucking
but it's still a shame
fire.
because he's talented enough to get more than he's going to get.
And
that's a shame.
Okay. And I would say that
Mooney,
Mooney, especially the last month or so, has been a way bigger focal point in the offense than Robinson. Like they're still like, if they're throwing it to receivers, it seems like Mooney's open more and maybe more of an emphasis in the offense than Robinson is. So I don't know. I don't know how you explain that, but yeah, he's been a disappointment this year.
Yeah.
So trade him.
Trade him. Trade him all.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, the things will be run a lot more smoothly with the Bears, and hopefully that's not the case with your car. But if it is, I want to introduce you guys to Chicago Chevy Land Dealers. This is 100% the smartest thing we can tell you guys is weather's starting to get cold. With hockey season here, basketball season here, we know that first snow's around the corner, and there's nothing like being screwed because you didn't take care of your car.
You gotta get your car right, and this is the time. It's almost getting to the point where it's walk backwards time of year, where you just can't even face the wind because it just rips your face off.
You enjoy that time of year.
I don't, Dave. You're just a slander guy, even in the middle of a fucking ad read.
Chevy didn't pay for that slander, Dave.
Yeah.
So I got it.
But anyways,
that's
actually a little extra on the top.
Yeah, a little ChevyDriveChicago.com. That's how you find the local dealer near you. They have all the great service, and if you do have new car needs, they got you there too. They got you covered. So we love Chevy. We love ChevyDriveChicago.com. Carl, you've taken your car in there, right?
Yeah, all the time because I just like to stay on top of all my standard vehicle maintenance.
There's nothing worse than when it gets cold and you turn that engine and you just hear that tick, and you know that battery is just not going to last.
Right.
So go to ChevyDriveChicago.com, find your local dealer, get all that taken care of. You'll be good to go. How about this? Phillip Rivers tells me he hasn't heard from the Saints, but he would listen.
No shit.
Yeah, that's what Sam Farmer said.
Well, that's because he's at home with 9 kids, and he's like, get me out of here. I'll go across country and play for
People
Sean
didn't believe this. So I was at the dog park 2 weeks ago, and it was around 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and that's like when everybody's getting off work, and there's a million people there, and a lot of people that are listening know this dog park. It's Wiggly Park at Sheffield and Diversey or so. And there's this one dude who's got the Alan from The Hangover baby carrier. He's like 6'4", and I looked at him, and I'm like, I know that guy. How do I know him? And it was Trevor Siemian, who came in relief of Jameis Winston this week and had an awesome ball game. Shot to shit with them for maybe 10 minutes, and he was as self-deprecating.
Northwestern quarterback.
Yes, as you could possibly be.
He's totally too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He followed me on Instagram. I was like, Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, he is. So,
you know when you see those random ones, you're like,
yeah,
oh, nice.
yeah,
I didn't know you were still
Matt
there.
Olson from the A's is my favorite random.
So I'm talking to him. I'm like, what are you doing in Chicago? And he was on his bye week, and he's like, yeah, I came home for the bye week, just hanging out with wife and kids for a few days before I head back. I'm like, yeah, man, you've had a great career. You started, and he's like, I am clinging on by a fucking thread right now, and I am loving every minute of it. Like, doesn't matter where I go, like, I'll be in consideration for that third backup job. Sometimes backup. They drafted Ian Book from Notre Dame. He beat Ian Book out in preseason for the backup job, and it was awesome. It was hilarious. Then 2 weeks later, I see him,
We got to get him
slinging
on.
it
He
around.
got a couple more threads this week. I
Yeah.
love to see it. And I've always thought he's a deserved backup in this league.
Oh yeah,
I thought he was
definitely.
solid for the Broncos.
Yeah,
Like he's
He
definitely,
got thrown into the shittiest situation with the Broncos when he had
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah.
But it's like, he could be like a Chase Daniel guy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Continually
I would
gets-
take him over Chase Daniel in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Chase Daniels had like $35 million career earnings.
It is
And,
something insane
he's
like
thrown
that.
like 240 attempts.
I
Which
am
is-
gonna say that
Which is
Trevor
literally
has made-
five fucking games. Which is Tom Brady did that by week 5 this year.
Yeah.
Like, who are some other backups?
Mike White.
Oh,
Mike
that dude
White.
from Wisconsin that was the backup forever.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Mike White?
Chad Henne's
Tom-
become a good
Tom
backup.
was out of
Mike
town, and he had this tweet that was like, I should just not watch the Jets every week. This is great. Or something along that
then they
effect.
had a-
And then they won.
yeah,
And the
they had a
guy,
great
like,
game.
the first time they've had a good quarterback performance in, like, maybe 10 years since Chad Pennington.
First time 400 quarterback on the Jets has thrown for 400 yards since Vinny Testaverde in 2000.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, has a
my-
Bears quarterback ever thrown for 400 yards?
Yeah,
I'm
can't-
sure Cutler did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been Cutler if anybody.
I
Trevor
think,
Simeon's
I think
made a
Mitch
bit.
might have done it against the Redskins that
Or
one year,
Tampa.
too. Or Tampa.
Bucs.
He had that
What's
6
that- what-
touchdown
what do
game.
My youngest brother, shout out Sean, he's a sophomore in Marquette right now. He's 19.
Marquette
He texted
University?
me. Yeah.
Wisconsin. Yep.
Go. How do we not know this? He's
We
right
did.
around the corner.
I've
I
talked
knew.
about
I
it.
knew. Tom is.
I knew that, too.
He texted me saying, I don't know what to do. That's the best performance I've ever seen by a Jets quarterback in my life. And I was like, oh, shit, that's right. Like, he wasn't even alive before
Oh,
that
shit.
last time it's happened.
Yeah.
So in his lifetime, that's the best Jets quarterback performance he's ever seen. So I was like, I guess Mike White's your quarterback.
Mike
now, man.
White.
That's tough when you just drafted kids second overall.
Yeah.
That might-
And then, like, 4 years before that, we also had the number 2 quarterback draft. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. I had never heard of this guy before. Like,
I'd never heard of him.
Me neither.
South Florida and Western Kentucky, so no wonder we never heard of him. But
Look at Dave. Didn't know Tom as a brother goes to Marquette.
I
You don't
swear to
give a
God, I did
fuck.
not know that.
And he probably told you probably got potatoes in your ears and you don't listen.
I've talked about it many times.
What is,
Because I'm
is
lashing
your
back out
fucking
for,
deal?
for your birthday comments.
I got another bone to pick with Dave about the weekend, too.
Because Eddie,
you?
you probably didn't want to text him, and you were like, you know what? Fine, I'll text him. Like in your head, you're like, hey,
That's
you know
exactly
what?
it. That's exactly
no, but
it.
in your head, you probably thought Dave's not even going to appreciate this. He's probably got his pants around his ankles right now.
Hey, so
Dave was like, he sent me I'm not a
Did you?
Halloween guy, you know? He sent me a text being like, are we dressing up? And I said, dressing up? Question mark. He goes, yeah, for Halloween. And I'm like, I wasn't planning on it. He goes, it's Halloween. So I say, all right, if you want to dress up and be a cowboy, like I'll wear the same stuff we wore to
For the
smoke
smoke
out. So I show up to Declan's in a cowboy hat and a denim thing for Dave's birthday because he doesn't want to be the only one dressed up. You know what Dave showed up in? Just a regular pants and sweatshirt.
That's
and a
not
hat.
true.
Yes, it is.
I did the Ditka.
No one thought you were Ditka. And it was not an authentic.
I couldn't grow my mustache off.
Couldn't
fast
grow a
enough.
mustache. It wasn't the Bears sweatshirt. You basically just had like the khaki bear bottoms, which looked nice.
Thank you.
And then a regular sweatshirt and a hat.
No,
Like,
that
there's no
sweatshirt is from like the
sunglasses,
early 90s.
But it wasn't the Ditka. So I was the only one in Declan's dressed up.
And you went cowboy because it's an easy one to do last
I
time.
have
Let the
to,
record
yes.
show.
Yes.
Let the record
I was
show
gonna
that.
do the cowboy, but I did. So I walked to Declan's, which for me is about a 30-minute walk, a little over a mile, maybe mile and a half or so. I didn't want to walk down the street that early in the day dressed like a cowboy alone. I'm too insecure to pull that off.
Wow.
Okay,
I had to sit in
dude,
the-
people run on Pikachu.
shut up, Ed.
You're
I'll
White
shut up.
Sox Dave.
Shut up, Ed.
Come on.
Mike White has great college stats. I just looked it up.
I thought I remember taking Western Kentucky
Yeah.
overs with him.
Threw for 4,000 yards twice.
Oh, wow. So he is.
67% completion percentage, 67%. So he's,
And Trevor Simeon has made about $6.7 million in his career. So
Not too shabby.
not too shabby. at
What
all.
else we got?
the Hawks won a game.
Congratulations to them.
Congratulations to you. More specifically,
We're on to November. So obviously October is the worst month in the history of Blackhawks on a variety of fronts. It was nice to just win one. It's nice to see Kane celebrate. He had a hat trick. He's now third all time in goals for the Blackhawks. He passed that record last night, 407. And I don't know how much is going to change long term. They I was doing the spaces last night, and someone read off the schedule, and it's like, oh fuck, they got Carolina as one of the best teams in the league. Then they have coming up in the next couple of weeks. They got Winnipeg, who's good. Nashville's pretty good. They just like have this kind of like gauntlet in November. So I don't think anything will change. But it was nice just to win one. And, now they can really start their search for the next GM, the next coach, and you're just kind of trying to ride it out here as best you can. But there is no, like, best case scenario. It just kind of sucks.
But they won.
Yeah, they won. It was good.
Did you give why am I blanking on his name? The coach from Little Giants?
One time, Kevin O'Shea, Danny O'Shea.
Danny O'Shea. What's his real name?
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Did you give we got a yard? We got, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good to get. It was good, and they look good doing it, and they've been getting better. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Now that Stan has been fired,
Don't do it.
I don't think that they should fire Colleton because
Whoa.
they can't, because no like competent coach is gonna sign up for a head coaching job with an interim GM, because they know whoever the next GM is going to want to have their own coach. So you'd have to fire Colleton, create further instability in the organization just to replace him with Mark Crawford, who's been there for years and also sucks. And if he knew what the problem was, he would have fixed it by now as the assistant coach. So you might as well just keep Colleton and ride it out. And it's like even like last night you're watching, it's like a lot of the things he's doing doesn't make sense with the lineup and how he's deploying guys. But it's, whatever. Like it was just like we just have to ride it out. And I think best case scenario is you somehow win the lottery and get Shane Wright.
So I was going to ask. He's the stud this year.
Shane Wright is probably the best prospect to hit the draft since Connor McDavid.
No.
Yeah, like he's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But
what does he do? Where's he from?
He's from Canada.
Okay.
I've heard this every year for like 8 years about it.
No, that's not true.
Isn't hockey big on this?
No.
Was big.
Lafreniere was big, but he's a winger, and specifically a left winger, and like he tore up. Like he's a very like. I know Rangers fans are like disappointed that he's not the next Connor McDavid. Shane like Lafreniere was like a bona fide, like he's going to be the number one pick. I don't know how many people were like he's as good as Connor McDavid.
Was Hughes there too or no?
Hughes
Lafreniere was up there. He was.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about Sidney Crosby with him, dude. Like,
but that also has to do with who he played for in junior. They played for the same. They both played for Rimouski, but in the queue. I think Shane Wright he like when you watch him, you notice like
what position?
He's a center.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got an unbelievable shot. Like Jack Hughes, not at that level either. Like Jack Hughes is probably one of the most skilled Americans to come along. Shane Wright's at a level above it. Like he really is. It's like Crosby, then McDavid, and then this guy. Like,
so can he just get like a surgery? Like can King go get like a surgery or something, and we could just tank, and then we could get these guys, and then we'll have
but like
more
the
year?
only thing about the tank is the lottery too.
Yeah,
I know.
So,
but don't we get more? How does?
Yeah, you get more ping pong balls for
get
more
more ping pong.
Yeah.
Dave,
more
we
ping
like
pong.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. I was talking
ping pong, not ping
talking
pong.
to a buddy who's a coach for a team in the Western Conference last night, and he's like the Blackhawks have talent. They just stink. He's like they don't know how to play. They stink. And especially if you watch that first 10 minutes, like they had all the same problems they always have. And everyone wants to rip on Seth Jones. Seth Jones has been pretty good. If you guys want to rip, this is to the audience, want to rip on a guy that they signed this offseason, and it hurts me to say because I've always loved his game, Jake Mccabe has been a disaster so far this year. And that's like, they were really expecting him to come in and be a shutdown defenseman. He's been horrible. He's been horrible. There's no getting around it. So hopefully it's just rust because he had a knee injury, didn't play much last year, and it's going to take him a while. But he was like, the whole team was playing pretty well. He still had a pretty bad game last night. So, but Seth Jones was good, and I do think the Hawks, the best thing that they can hope for. It's just such a deep hole to dig out of, and it's going to get deeper here in November, most likely. Is Shane Wright?
Do you think like some of these guys are embarrassed?
I would hope. Like I wonder if they're embarrassed or like they say the right things. They say they're embarrassed. Brandon Hagel's been pretty vocal about that when they, you start 0-9. The record, they broke the Blackhawks record, which was 0-7, which I think was in 1998. And then the record all time was the Rangers 11, and that was 1944. So it's like they were a historically awful team to start the year. And I would hope that they would be embarrassed that they, do you have any pride, Danny, kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
They were so bad. And I don't think they're a good team. I don't think they're well coached, but I don't see any path forward. But I don't hate like a lot of the guys. Like, it's on paper, like they should be better than this. They really should. They should be right about average based upon like what talent they have. They should be right in the middle of the league, and they're just not. So,
well, the Shane Wright guy had 9 goals in 5 games played in the World Juniors last year.
That's what I mean. Like,
that's a lot of fucking goals in 5 games.
That's as like a double underage player. So like this year he'll play in it again. This is his draft year, and then most guys, like, remember when Doc was supposed to go and play, he got hurt, and I got so pissed about that. Like, like he would have been 19, have already played in the NHL and still playing in that tournament, and would not have put up the numbers that Shane Wright did as a 17-year-old. So like that kid is like, he's unbelievable.
39 goals in 58 games played last year for the Kingston Frontliners.
How many assists?
27. 66 points in 58 games.
That sounds even low to me, but that was actually 2 years ago, because
1920, yeah.
Yeah, OHL didn't play. So that was as a 16-year-old who's over a point per game playing against guys who are 20.
I'd say that's pretty good.
He's unbelievable.
So tank on, right, Chief?
Big ass.
I know you're a big tank guy.
Carl?
Big ass World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Brother Ice beat Wheaton Warville South 27-26. Is that what you're going to ask, Ed?
I was actually going to say 5 years ago today.
Cubs won the World Series.
Yeah.
Worst day of my entire life.
Okay,
Brian
couple
Turizzo.
prompts. Yeah, that was a big game.
Yeah.
I've been watching the highlights come out. This has been a big off season for retweeting highlights and sharing those highlights. So 5 years later, it's good, and
I can't believe
because
that was 5 fucking years ago.
the window has closed so drastically, and like it's just impossible to win a championship. I'm convinced it's impossible to win championships.
It is impossible to win a fucking championship. It's
'Cause, like,
impossible.
at least when the Cubs did it too, I was like, they're fucking better than everybody else. Like, I thought they had a better roster. I thought they had the better staff, and it was still very hard. So World Series tonight, Game 6, Max Fried pitches in Houston. This should be a great game.
I think
and
it's
been a
going
great
7.
series, I think.
It has been
I think
a
it's
good
been a
series,
great series. I don't like when series go 3-1, but
Yeah.
I do love a Game 6.
You like anybody yet?
So
Astros.
I am leaning. There's probably value on the Braves because they're underdogs, and I like Max Fried because he pitches well against he's better against lefties than he is against righties, and he's fucking tough against righties. So there's some big pressure points in the Astros lineup with 2 thunderous left-handed bats in Alvarez and Tucker, and then they kind of disperse those righties around it. Those guys are going to hit anyways. They're going to get their fucking hits. Correa, Altuve, Gurriel, like they're just good hitters. They're going to get on base, create opportunities. Max Fried, though, is a very good starting pitcher in this year historically when he's pitched. He didn't pitch bad in Game 2, but he gave up runs and kind of got hit around a little bit, unfortunately. And it's one of those games, if you just look at the box score, you'd say this guy got hit around. But if you watch the game, he was in control the whole time. I thought he had great mound presence. I thought his stuff looked fucking sharp. So I think there's value on the Braves tonight, but my favorite play is the under. So like I will put a little bit on the Braves, but the under is currently 8.5 at plus 100. And I just like it because it's a fucking elimination game on the road for the team that's trying to win. You got one of your best starting pitchings going for one of them, and then this Garcia guy's got an electric cutter fastball combination.
And he does not. He is constantly on the edges. It's so impressive watching him pitch. He does not throw the ball over the plate. It's just right around them. He gets people to dance. He doesn't have like overwhelming shit. But I had never really watched him pitch prior to this postseason. I love this guy.
Yeah, his
changeup is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a good equalizer for Freddie Freeman because he can throw a change away, he can throw his cutter in. But he's also tough for the Soler and the Duvals and the Rileys and these right-handed hitters that want to get extension and can drive the ball. It's very tough when you got a fastball cutter. So I am partial to the under because I think people are going to say, like, oh, well, it's fireworks, it's Game 6 and all this shit. But anytime you change a venue, World Series elimination format, you saw Game 3, Game 4, those were really low-scoring games, and they get settled in. There's some explosion. So, like, Game 6, I like an under, and if they get to Game 7, pound the over.
Credit to you, too. You've been fucking great on these picks, so.
Thanks.
You don't take them lightly, so.
No,
If you're
I'm on these.
No sure thing, but.
You know what sucks, though?
What?
Is I'll fucking and I have been hot with the playoffs, in particular the World Series. I've picked all 5 games. I've had my one pick for all 5 games has been on. I'll still fucking lose it on Sunday. I'll still get up and like, yeah, I like the Lions at home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna splash that.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had a voice in my head that was like, hey, you know what you're talking about here, dude. So you can actually, not saying you win or lose. Like, I just wish I was in control with not in. Fuck. Now I sound like an idiot.
I bet the Lions against the Eagles too. I don't know if you actually did that.
No, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went for the morning on Sunday morning.
I had a hard Sunday morning.
But it's just funny where it's like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just don't trust myself. Dave, what are you laughing at, you little shithead?
Nothing. I stopped gambling, so I don't know that feeling recently.
No, I would never stop.
I had to take a breather, okay? I was getting a little too big for my britches. We'll put it that way.
I've been doing those hockey picks with Scott, and I've been so bad in October that I didn't bet my own bet for the first time yesterday. My picks went 4-1 last night. So it's just like even so it's
That's
like
how it
if you
works.
take the pressure off yourself, you're not live bullets. That's when you do well, and then you get back in and you're feeling confident because you're like, I know I'm on it. I just went 4-1 yesterday. Even though I didn't put the money down, then that's when you go on 5.
Also, for the record, I looked it up.
mean,
Jay or Mitch never threw for 400 yards.
Really?
Yep.
So when was the last one?
Jim Miller, 1999. So
against the Vikings?
Fuck off.
Who is this against the Vikings?
against the Vikings.
Marcus Robinson. I was at that game.
Yeah, there you go. You got to feel good about that, Tom. You got to speak there.
Bears lost that game, right?
Rex
it
never
doesn't
did?
say.
Randy Moss had 2 or 3 touchdowns.
According to this sheet,
I feel like Rex had a couple games where he was like 380 plus.
the Bears lost that game 27-24.
And did Marcus Robinson have over 200 yards receiving?
Marcus Robinson had a 77-yard. Hold on, I'll just pull up player stats.
We're having a moment.
This is big. Marcus Robinson had 148 yards receiving.
Okay.
Big day.
Yeah, no, it was I think he got out on the Terry Shea
great.
bubble screen. Or who was it? Bob? Who is it?
Yeah, Terry Shea, White Sox Dave's favorite coordinator.
Who was the other one that was really
God,
bad?
he was
Bob.
bad.
Shoop,
Yeah, Bob Shoop.
Shoop, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Shoop.
tough.
Did he coach for Illinois too?
That was Turner.
Oh yeah.
Who I like. Used to live in River North. We're going to be back on Thursday. Maybe some Bears Steelers previews. Obviously, reactions to Bulls Sixers. Get in on the Bulls if you're not seeing red. This is not a joke. We do actually, it's changing the dynamic of Chicago sports. Any other announcements till Thursday?
Did you have anything? Did you want to say anything else? It was a great game, Brother Rice. Wheaton Warrenville South.
Shout out Wheaton Warrenville South. They scored a
Shut
touch.
up.
Listen to me, dude.
Shut up.
You don't know what happened in the game then.
I did. I saw the last play.
Wheaton Warrenville South scores a touchdown. It's 27-20. Wheaton Warrenville South gets the ball with almost a minute left in the fourth quarter. If not that, Rice does the drive. They get the touchdown from their big player. It's 27-20. You guys came right back down the field, scored a touchdown, went for 2 to get it.
Should have caught the ball, it looks like.
So
Let's roast that high school kid.
Fuck him.
that's what it's all about. St. Pat's won 5-4.
You can't say that. Dave's kidding. I hope that kid's all right. I mean, it's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably.
It's high school
I'm
sports.
sure he's okay, Ed.
Well, I don't
you
know.
sit around here and still talk about how you fucking struck out with the bases loaded in the sectional championship.
That's not true. I fouled out. And I am still pissed about it because it was a bad pitch. I wanted to be the hero instead of just staying within my means. Swung at a bad pitch, fouled out.
That's a tough moment. So
St. Pat's 5-4.
ESCC CCL 11-0. Wow. Love to see it.
Damn.
Round 2.
Yeah. And we'll announce it now. No.
No, tomorrow.
We had an announcement tomorrow. Tune in the podcast tomorrow. Tune in the
It's not that big though, but it's cool.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like I even...
You do.
Yep.
You
All
know.
gas.
No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.